Hey, what's up, guys? It's JRPG Console with my review on Resident Evil 4 Remake. So, I did finish it about I'd say 2 days ago at least. And overall, I personally enjoyed Resident Evil 4 Remake. I definitely believe it was well done compared to Resident Evil 3 Remake, which I thought was the shortest game I've ever played of a Resident Evil game. So, I will talk about the good points that I have with this game and the not so good points about this game. So, the good points about this game, the sound design when it comes to firing the guns is very excellent. The visual style, like the environment, they're very well done. I would say they're way better than the remastered counterpart with the PS2 because this game actually came out in the GameCube and PlayStation 2, and you look at those graphics compared to the remake. Yeah, the remake completely blows the graphics out of the water compared to the original. The original, sadly, is not aging very well in terms of visuals, so I will give a nod to that. I definitely like that you can do a lot more in the games in terms of like extra content. Like you can actually go back to certain areas and grab extra items, and as well you can actually complete these things called requests. I feel that was a very nice bonus added to the game because you can basically trade in the spinels that are actually stuff used for trades, and you can actually get some very useful items in the game. So I really do like that change. And I do like the aspect that you can sneak in some segments and completely stealth kill enemies. I really like that addition to the game. I do like Ashley. I feel like she's a lot more mature and less of a pain to deal with than the original too. Like, I'm sorry, in the original game, Ashley felt like a fucking snot-nosed brat, and I'm like, you know what? Let let her be taken away. Yeah, like I'm so glad that they made Ashley so mature in the remake. It's so much less of a pain to deal with her and all that stuff. And I do like that immediately when she's down, she doesn't like automatically die because like in the original game she had a health bar, and if she took too much damage it was basically game over. In this version, if she goes down, she doesn't immediately die, so you have a chance to like revive her after you're done finishing all the enemies. I do like that. I do like that you can parry with a knife too, and I am a fan of the knife kind of having like a durability where it breaks and all that stuff because let's be honest, a knife, if you actually use a real life knife, it is going to wear and tear at one point. So I kind of like they added that kind of realism when it comes to like using a knife and all that stuff. So let's get into the things I really didn't like about the remake. My dislikes with the Resident Evil 3. I mean, not 3. Resident Evil 4 remake. One is the game is way too dark. Like, I have no idea what Capcom did with the lighting, but they made some areas so dark it was hard to see and shoot my gun at the enemy. So if they ever do make remakes going forward, please fix the lighting, Capcom, because the lighting there was not well done. It just wasn't. Another thing that I'm really not a fan of is they made some of the puzzles a lot more difficult compared to the original game. Like, I feel they made the church puzzle way too confusing, and I wish that Capcom would give you a hint eventually when you're stuck on a puzzle instead of just looking up what you have to do. I felt like that was frustrating that I couldn't figure out what to do, and I literally had to look it up on YouTube. And is it just me, or does Leon feel a lot more serious compared to the original game? I don't know if I personally like that change. I feel like Leon kind of comes off as a standoffish asshole in the remake compared to the original game. And I do miss some of the jokes. Like, remember when Leon made a comment about Salazar's right hand coming off? That joke is absent from the remake. And I'm a little disappointed that they couldn't add that in, because the right hand joke was actually pretty funny, in my honest opinion. And another change that I'm really not a fan of, I feel like they made some of these boss fights way too difficult. Like, they did not make their patterns very clear with some of them, and it was frustrating. It felt like it was doing tedious stuff to figure out how to do these boss battles in the remake compared to the original. So, I'm not too much of a fan of that. Like, I understand that survival horror has to have some kind of element of challenge, but in this instance, it feels like they were just adding too much artificial difficulty to the game. And I did feel kind of low at times that the pacing of the game was a little bit on the boring side. Like, I felt like in some areas it feels like you're kind of like doing the same shit, and it kind of just wears off on you a little. But I really can't criticize them harshly this time around for the Resident Evil 4 remake. I personally think the game was amazing. Now, do I feel this passes the original? I'm going to say yes, but I'm going to say it slightly passes the original. The reason I say it slightly passes the original, because the gameplay, yes, is definitely far superior compared to the original game. But you kind of feel like the gameplay is kind of like the same thing you've been doing in the original game. The only difference is you can actually stealth kill enemies. That's really it. That's the only minor difference. And you can do requests. Other than that, it kind of feels like you're sort of playing the new game. Like, I don't have a problem playing the same game over and over again. I just wish they would try and innovate a little bit more than just, oh, you can stealth kill enemies and do requests. You know? Like, find some other way to mix up the gameplay a little. But that's my overall opinion on Resident Evil 4 Remake. And I would definitely say, if you're wanting to buy a game that's actually a very good AAA game, give this a shot. I think you will like it. So that's all I gotta say on the Resident Evil 4 Remake. This has been JRPG Console. Let me know in the comments section if you play Resident Evil 4. Do you like the changes? Do you enjoy the game? Is there anything you would like to add to the comment section Capcom should do in the future for remakes? Let me know. Anyways, I'm out. See you guys later.